Hey guys, Brett Weiss here. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'd like to wish you guys a very happy new year and I hope you have an excellent 2020. Now I've got a huge announcement to make about who wrote the foreword to my next book. Now as most of you know, I've been writing books about video games for a long time, retro gaming in particular, and I've had some really cool people over the years write some forewords to some of my books. Now before the big reveal, before I talk about who wrote the foreword to my next book, I want to talk a little bit about some of the people that have written forewords to my previous books. It'll just take very briefly, so hang on tight. My second book, Classic Home Video Games 1985 through 1988, covering the NES Master System and 7800. Bill Kunkel wrote the foreword to that. The late, great Bill Kunkel, who co-founded Video Game Journalism and co-founded Electronic Games Magazine, good friend of mine, he wrote the foreword to that book. And Classic Home Video Games 1989 through 1990. The cover date's referring to the console era when the consoles themselves were released. Within each book is comprehensive about each game system, every U.S. release. Leonard Herman wrote the foreword to this book. Now Leonard Herman's been a friend of mine for a very long time, and he is known as the father of video game history because he wrote the first serious, the first comprehensive book about the history of video games, Phoenix. It is now in its 4th edition. So thank you, Leonard Herman, for that. And my book, The 100 Greatest Console Video Games, 1977 through 1987, the foreword to that was written by Walter Day. Now, you've probably seen Walter Day, and many of you have seen him as the star of The King of Kong, the guy in the referee jersey, and he was also in he was depicted, without his permission or anything, in Wreck-It Ralph, the Disney film. The arcade operator with the referee shirt, that was obviously based on Walter. Now, Walter popularized the notion of esports and competitive video gaming and of keeping high scores, keeping high score records and all that. So he played an important role in organized competitive gaming. He didn't invent esports, but he did play a role in, bringing them to the global masses, just the notion of high score keeping and all that kind of stuff. So thank you, Walter, for that. For the SNES Omnibus, Volume 1, the foreword to that was written by Bill Lowe. Now, Bill, he's with Armchair Arcade, brilliant guy, one of the smartest people I've ever known. He wrote an extremely technical foreword to this book, and it was awesome. It's a foreword I never could have written myself because it's just so, all about the specs of the Super Nintendo and all that kind of stuff, which is really not my thing. So thank you, Bill, for that. Great guy. That's really cool to get that, technical aspect because my books don't really get super technical. I'm more about the gameplay, the reviews, the storylines, the graphics, and all that kind of stuff. But Bill really went the extra mile with the foreword to SNES Omnibus Volume 1. Now, the SNES Omnibus Volume 2. This is the last one before I get to the big reveal over who is writing the foreword to my next book. The SNES Omnibus Volume 2. The foreword to that book was written by Ben Reeves. He's the executive editor with Game Informer, the biggest video game magazine in the world. The long-running Game Informer. If you go to GameStop and you get on there, get a card, a discount card, you get the magazine, subscription with that, which is a really good deal. So thank you, Ben Reeves, for that. He wrote a fun and very lively foreword to that book. So I just really appreciate all these guys writing forewords to the books. It really lends a lot of weight to the books and really helps them get noticed. And it's just very kind of them to take their time to do that. And I really appreciate it. So anyway, now for the big reveal. My next book, which is due in the fall of 2020, another retro gaming book. I'll have more information on that hopefully pretty soon when my publisher allows. But I do want to tell you guys who wrote the foreword, and that is none other than Adam F. Goldberg. He is the creator of the Goldbergs TV show as well as the spinoff, Schooled. Now, clearly, my family, especially my wife and I, we really like to watch the Goldbergs. It's a lot of fun. It's must-see TV each Wednesday night, and really forward to looking for the show to come back. I think in January is when new episodes come out. Anyway, so Adam F. Goldberg has written the foreword to my next book. He's turned it in. I've been really looking forward to telling you guys about this because he is a massive, massive video game fan. He grew up playing games, and the foreword that he wrote is great because he talks about his mom and dad, the Goldbergs, which, you know, there's kind of ridiculous depictions of them on the TV show, kind of exaggerated. But then at the end of the episode, when he shows some authentic home movie footage, maybe not so ridiculous after all, because he had a pretty interesting upbringing. You know, so the Goldbergs TV show, it's a sitcom, half hour. If you haven't seen it before, you should check it out. It takes place in the 1980s, 1980 something, as he said. It's kind of a mishmash of different aspects of the 1980s, which is perfect for this book because it covers games that came out in the 80s. And so thank you so much, Adam F. Goldberg, for that. I really appreciate it. The foreword he wrote is just really in-depth. It's mostly about his family life growing up, playing video games and what that was like, and his parents' reluctance to upgrade to the newer console that would come out. It's very Goldbergian. If you appreciate the show, you're definitely going to like reading the foreword, which I will probably put the entire foreword, his foreword, on my Patreon page at some point. So anyway, so thank you, Adam, for that. And thank you so much to Sean Tiedemann, the director of The King of Arcades. Very cool movie if you guys want to check that out, about Richie Knuckles, you know, being this, you know, arcade hotshot. And Sean Tiedemann got me in touch with Adam Goldberg and kind of helped make that happen. So anyway, guys, thank you again. Thank you for watching this show. Please click that thumbs up and please subscribe to the channel. I really, really appreciate it. And once again, Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you guys. Happy New Year to Adam Goldberg. Thank you so much for writing the foreword to my next book. And I will talk to you later. Pretty soon I need to go over to my mom's house to eat some black-eyed peas. So thank you once again for tuning in. I will talk to you guys later. Have a happy 2020. Peace out.